It is beautiful. It is wonderful.
We are live.
Hockey Nation fans, welcome back to another special edition of the Hockey Nation live show. This is your coach, your cold Frenchies, directly from the booth. And we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find Michael DeVillano.
Sorry, Pierre, for running a little late. I'm multitasking this morning.
No problem. A lot of things happening yesterday in the NHL. Of course, you have a couple of games, but I think you have one of the biggest thing is the pass away of Bob Bledger for the St. Louis Blues. Died by at 78 years old and by a crash accident. So it was like surprised me because I thought it was maybe COVID related and everything like that. But now he got killed in the accident in the
It was like
St.
a
Louis.
car accident, or
Yeah.
I kind of heard only some details on it.
So happening yesterday, last night. So, Bobby was an icon for the organization. St. Louis, like, other, like Jean Béliveau or Maurice Richard from Montreal. And, many
like
people like.
Tiger, right?
Yeah, exactly. He played 11 years for them, and then he played 3 years with the Rangers. Overall, he played 645 games in NHL, at 146 points. Then after that, he works with the organization for years after years, and he has also impact a lot of young players in this organization. If you follow a lot of the St. Louis Blues, and you're going to see player like another one this morning. I was surprised David Backes for the Anaheim Ducks and mentioned about him, and David Perron. And we can go all the way like that. Boommister, yeah. Bowmister also. So you have a lot of player was really, talking about the human being behind the hockey player, and that's is all about at the end of the day. So, it's just sad what happening. So, that's what the biggest news happening yesterday, for the Bobby Bledger for the St. Louis Blues. So, RPI, my friend, and hopefully wish a condolence for the family. And the best for the organization, St. Louis Blues. So.
Yeah, lots of condolences coming in, and yeah, that's unfortunate of how that happened. He and his brother both played for St. Louis and were part of that organization for a while. And I remember seeing Bobby and meeting him at the Roger Nielsen coaching clinic in Windsor, and he was a great guy. He was awesome.
Yeah,
and he kind of held court with all the there was a lot of high end famous coaches there, or coaches that were going to be famous, and everyone loved him. He was really, really well respected, and it's a very sad passing.
Yep. The second biggest news is the trade between the Anaheim Ducks and the Tampa Bay Lightning happening late last night. I think it was about 10 o'clock p.m. The Tampa Bay sent Alexander Volkov to the Anaheim Ducks. In return, they got Antoine Morin and then a conditional 7th-round pick. So at the end of the day, it's a minor trade. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, both players play most of the AHL. Volkov a little bit more older. He's 23 years old. He played 19 games this year, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Last year, I believe he had only 9 games or 3 games, 1 assist. He played only 1 game in the playoff. Morin never played in NHL. No. He have a 2 seasons with the San Diego Gulls. He have a good career in the QM. He was, I believe, a 2nd-round pick, 60 overall pick, I believe.
Well, I think this could be a big trade for Anaheim. This kid's very talented, and I think anytime he's gotten a chance, he scores. So they might have got a steal here. It's low.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Morin is going to be stuck in the crunch.
Not Morin. Who cares about Morin? Volkov.
Volkov, we have to wait. We have to wait what could happen. I mentioned this morning. In fact, he could be a little bit like what Carter Verhey got with the Panthers, an opportunity to play a little bit higher.
That's the opportunity upside because he has talent.
So we'll see how he's going to react. Right, he's going because if you check the 19 games, I believe he had an average of 11, 12 minutes per game. So it's not
That's
good
the
enough.
thing.
Don't play on power play. So he become a bit the generation, the young generation of what Anaheim does have, right? You talk about Terry, Comtois, and Tristal, Zegras, and you can go all the way like that, So I think would be interesting about that part over there. So it'd be a good way. I think for the winner of that trade is him. At the same time, I think that open up like $1.8 million, I believe, on the salary cap for the Tampa Bay. So that helping a little bit.
How is it 1.8? I thought he was making a lot less than that.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I thought he was like 800 grand or something.
Or
do you think he's that high?
I thought it was a little bit higher, but I could be wrong.
That would be helpful. Let's take a look.
Because I think Brisbane mentioned, or someone mentioned about $1 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money to take off the books for a guy that they weren't giving an opportunity to. So that's good for them. Now he's 700 grand.
Okay, what is salary cap now for Tampa Bay?
That's maybe they're like 98 million. So they have 1.7 million in long-term IR space.
Okay, that's what happening. Yeah, that's the reason of $1.7 million happening. So would be interesting happen that part of it. But like you said, Volkov would be like a good fit maybe for Anaheim Ducks and go from there for sure. So would be very interesting. The third thing was like I have a chance to watching first of all COVID-19. Zach Parise and the goaltender Ammon is on the COVID-19 protocol list right now. Happening last night.
Really?
Yeah. So Parise did not play yesterday. Boston situation. We have a chance to watch head coach Bruce Cassidy listening after the practice. They practiced yesterday at 7 p.m. So it was funny Larry was talking about this practice. The night was does not happen a lot for them, for any NHL team practice the night. So he mentioned the situation. Rask could be back in the lineup tonight. If not, it will be back the second game this weekend. So that's a good plus there. Carlo is skating now. Lois only is about a couple of games back, maybe 5-6 games, maybe 3 games, maybe. He's now he practice a full time, but maybe more conditioning for him. He talked also about maybe all the player was on the COVID-19, maybe not played tonight. So we talk about 4 players. So we'll see what happens. So that's covered a little bit Boston situation. I just with the fact we was late a little bit. I was watching the Riley Nash.
He's got a big contract. I don't know. He's not performed in Columbus. He was good before that, and I like Riley. Actually, Gary Davidson, played for Gary in the BCHL.
Now, being honest with you, I think Riley Nash is equal Noel Ashieri. It does not help the situation with the Panthers. I think they need to get a little step over, like Eric. Man, Stahl always come back to me, but that quality players like him, bigger return that. So it'll be very interesting about the Panthers right now. Was going to mention deeply tonight. They were going to miss Barkov, but I think that situation right here is to be sure. They find a second center for sure.
And Riley's not cheap right now. I think his contract's like $4 million, isn't it?
I don't think so. I would be surprised. Nash is at 4, but I think you close, but not like 4.
2.75. You're right.
I'm sorry.
It's 2.75.
Yeah.
So it's a little better. That's a little more palatable. They could probably even eat some salary there. And he would be a useful player, Pierre, but he's not going to be a top 2 guy.
No, in that situation for me, I would prefer to have Noel Ashieri. I think a little bit more grandeur inside of him for me. So would be interesting about that one over there. But again, I think they're going to miss Barkov. Hopefully it's not a little bit like maybe a couple of days and not like over 1 week, because they're going to suffer 2 big games after tonight. They're going to be in Dallas this weekend, Panthers. So and then I think I have 1 game, could be Nashville. I'm not remember. So we'll see what happening with them for sure. A couple of the team start to sign a lot of players from college. College is over now, so a couple of players sign up. So Tyce Thompson for the Providence College signed a contract yesterday with the Devils. Devils. Wellman for the Flyers. Detroit Red Wings signed Pardon Zeph Barton Barton. His, I think, is a 22014 draft. And then this morning we heard that Penn State Talveti signed with the New Jersey Devils also. So it would be really interesting about that one over there. And San Jose Patrick Malo finally played his 885 game straight game. So he's just a couple of games behind Yandel. We'll see what happening with him about that. Injury side, we have Barkov, we just mentioned. The second players, the goaltender Ranta for the Arizona Coyotes now. It's not like a couple of days now, it's a couple of weeks we mentioned. And that's cover everything about the overall about the injuries and news, everything like that.
So do you want to talk about the first games?
Yeah, let's go quickly. I have to get out in 15 minutes or 17 minutes. So 5 game yesterday. Yeah, 2 points right there. They was lead 1-0 after the second period. Ottawa have only 1 win this year. But I think right now I'm not. I have to wait Calgary after Ottawa because Ottawa beat all year Calgary this year. I think they are 5-2-1 right now, 5-2. That surprised me about that part. But Calgary
they're faster than Calgary, and they play an offensive style. And that goalie played very well again.
Yeah, Gustafsson became a second start as an NHL, got his second W, and then he reached Hammond and Mike Brother in Ottawa to as like the 2 start in NHL with 2 W. So impressive to see him. He stopped 28 shot, I believe, yesterday. So I think it was good for him to do that. And the good news about that is because they're helping the Montreal Canadiens with that one because they pushed back Calgary. In Montreal does not play where we just listening Mike Bergevin, and the reason about this is we did not know, but they have only one player. He didn't mention which one it was. He got the COVID-19, but he got the variant 19. So that's the reason the NHL canceled out the game because the variant is one, virus what nobody too much knows about this, a bit more dangerous, it maybe said, so they didn't want to take a chance. So that's happening. You have any other players, one more got a COVID-19, but the rest of the team is not affected. He's just more worried about 7 days off, nobody play, and then the NHL mentioned to them they maybe play 4 games in 5 nights sometimes.
Yeah, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah,
I feel like they just need to go all scrubs one game and not worry about it. Rather than blow 4, you switch up the lineup a little bit so that you have fresh legs.
Yeah.
You definitely got to rotate goalies no matter what. And you just say play your percentages and definitely win the game you need to win.
Yep.
And then if you can pull out one and the other 2, great. You would think these players be getting vaccinated pretty soon, Pierre.
I think they are covered, but I don't know how they are. So it would be interesting about that. And go there for Ottawa. Josh Norris score again for them. That's another goal there. And then they have a Zatnev score his first of the year, like 200 feet, a bomb from behind the net, like a quarterback, a bomb pass straight on the top middle of the net. It was funny to see that. So that's, gave them a W. So good performance for Ottawa.
Ottawa looked good, and they've looked good in a lot of their games. They've beaten some good teams in that division. So if we take out the first 8 games of the year, they're not bad, Pierre.
Yeah, they're hanging there for sure.
Yep, the kids are coming around, and man, to get we're seeing some depth. If this is like their 4th string goalie, right? So maybe he ends up being a decent backup for them.
Yeah,
really,
Murray Albert was on the ice this morning.
who was? Matt
Murray and Albert. Is it Akbar?
Hoberg? Yeah, Hoberg. Yeah. They might have 3 decent goalies. I mean,
So we'll
Hoberg
see what's happening.
like a yo-yo, but all right. What did you think of the Minnesota Wild versus the Anaheim Ducks?
First is the 10 straight W at home. They just beat the record, so they are 10-0-0 at home. You know, the best team or the best team in any sport, they find a way to win. And sometimes it's not the beauty win; it's an ugly win. I think Minnesota, the last 2 games, they find a way to get those 2 points and keep them in the playoff. And I think they will make the playoff. Another good performance at Dalbot. I think he's at home is 6-0-0 this year. You know what I mean? Like overall, I think yesterday was all about Spurgeon. I think he have 2 goals yesterday for Minnesota, and I cannot find a way to beat. And again, you know, Ryan Mailer again in the net because they suffer a lot. Gibson, you know,
Another good game from Max Comtois. I mean, this guy seems legit.
Yeah,
so I'm excited about his progress. You've got to pick your wins with Anaheim right now. I don't think they're playing necessarily to move in this.
They look like Ottawa last season.
Exactly. They're looking to play the young guys, give them experience, and they'll come at it next year.
Yep. I agree. Next game.
I really thought Buffalo was going to win.
This is like, you know, there's 15. There's the worst of the, 30 years in the NHL right now. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I watched the first period, was only 2-1, but Pittsburgh was all over, and, they are like, what? Dokaski is the fourth violon in the net and everything like that. You can see.
Yeah, he hasn't played in the NHL in how long?
You know what I mean? Like, you see is just not the prototype NHL goaltender.
Yeah, he's smaller.
Yeah.
It's
And he tried to make him big, he strap everything, but he's not there. Pittsburgh just find a way to win that. They knew they would win just to find a way, let them perform. So overall, it's good to see them. Ross have another good game also.
Interesting that, I think Olofsson scores again, and then they get a goal from Dahlin. I don't know, when is Taylor Hall gonna score some goals here, man? Like, he's got 2 goals here.
But I would tell you one thing yesterday, like Dahlin struggle. I don't know which goal he was yesterday, but you have a breakaway. Dahlin make a mistake. It was a fight. I think it's a peaky goal. He make a mistake at the blue line. Then the Pittsburgh pick up stop the puck, go maybe 5-10 feet, reach faster to Dahlin. So Dahlin is behind him. The other D come back also to helping Dahlin. The guy shoot the puck, and then the Pittsburgh go through the goal line, and then the puck go rebound, and Dahlin become the second guy. But now he played the puck. He never looked aware the second guy for the Pittsburgh is coming, then he score. So this is a one-on-one mind awareness in hockey. You don't have the skill, the talent. You should know I'm coming down. I need to be sure I pick up number 2 at some point. The F2's coming. So
I get it. I think the wheels are off. They waited too long. The players have no confidence. I know. They can win. There's no goaltending, and now you got a 20-year-old superstar defenseman that is probably overloaded and shaken. And
he looked bad right now.
There's no leadership in that team, Pierre.
You know what I mean? He scored a goal yesterday. He was not like he got
surprised.
No, but he was not like a 100 miles per hour. He was just flip or whatever it was. Like Jerry should stop that one. But it was a good face-off win by Eric Stahl. So we'll see.
Taylor Hall will fit poorly with the Islanders. I don't see Taylor fitting in one of those places. I don't know. He's a difficult player to get your head around because he has all the size and the talent. And if you look at his numbers, he always underachieves. And if you watch him, you know why. He's very individualistic, and he doesn't make great decisions with the puck. If he could fit anywhere, it'd be Islanders because of Barry Trotz. But you're taking a tremendous risk getting him.
Yeah.
He might respond to Barry Trotz, and that's a good dressing room. So maybe it fits, but it's also a risk. It's only 1 year, so it's not that bad, I guess. Though.
Well, it's not 1 year. It's about 10, 20 game right now.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it's not like he has a contract next year. So
No.
you could take him on as a rental, and if he doesn't work out, go back to Michael Del Cole or something.
It could be a direction he can go. I'll be honest with you. But
could Calgary fit him? What would they have to move out?
What?
The Islanders are pretty tight on the cap, aren't they?
No, because they lost Anders
Oh,
Lee.
Anders Lee. Good point. Yeah, that's not a bad move, but I don't know. I'm always like asterisks around Taylor. It's frustrating, but
What
maybe
do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think Tyler Hall with Pittsburgh?
That's another situation where that actually could work out very well because you got Crosby and you got Malkin. He's never played with anybody like that caliber, and he can keep up with Crosby. And so this sounds strange, but I think Sidney Crosby is very difficult to play with because he never stops moving. And the only reason Chris Kunitz had a great career is because he never stopped moving. It wasn't like Chris Kunitz was great anywhere else. And I think Taylor's that type of player where Taylor doesn't understand how to have multiple speeds in his game. He's fast. He's always fast. He's always power. And Crosby's like that, but effective. So that actually might be a very effective move.
Yeah, it could be. Just
I
try to find
actually
him.
think that would be one of the very few places that would be good. I think
I don't see him at Boston. Me.
No. They wanted him though, didn't they?
Yeah, they wanted, but now he's become the second line over there, left wing. He spent a lot of money there.
Think of Krejci though as his centerman.
Yeah, but he's
Like
leaving. So
Who's
we'll
leaving?
see. I think Krejci, but he's leaving. He's UFA at the end of the period. So.
Yeah, so is Taylor, but that's the point. You know, that's another example where you have a very strong culture, two very good centermen who are good 200 feet. And
But I don't see that kind of. I don't see from him because the culture at Boston is grander, is working hard, win your battle, and I don't see him that way.
Taylor is that way. Taylor's very intense, Pierre. He is just doesn't know how to vary. And he doesn't make good decisions with the puck. And he feels like he has to do everything. And that's why you see the 1 year he succeeded the best was with Nico Heischier. And he trusted Nico to set up the plays and he would finish instead of him carrying the puck all the time. And
so we'll see what happens.
You know, I mean, I coached against him and, you know, there was a playbook to slow him down, which was really tough, but it was like, let him carry the damn puck. And then he's eventually going to turn it over. And then some things don't change, you know?
Yep. Next one.
What do you think of this game? Crushing.
First of all, it's 4 goals from Coop, honestly.
It was awesome, Pierre. Andrew Copp.
Andrew Copp scored 4 goals. You have 6 players, Michael, and the Jets history with the Thrasher history have 4 goals more. Who are they?
Ilya Kovalchuk.
Not the Thrasher. Only the Jets.
Oh, well, they're different organizations. That's Arizona. So
yeah, but you can go all the way before that too, yeah.
So are we saying Winnipeg?
Winnipeg, yeah.
I mean, I would think Paul McLean, maybe. I would think no, Really? I'm actually surprised at that. Teemu Selanne, Keith Tkachuk.
That's one.
Yeah. Not Teemu?
Who?
Teemu Selanne.
No.
What? Come on. Andrew McBain?
No. So
Howard
Willie Lindstrom.
What?
5 goals.
Whoa, that was the 80s, man. Does that count, really?
Zamnov.
Who?
Zamnov.
Oh, Zhamnov, Alexei Zhamnov. That's right. He had that 5-goal game.
Yeah. And Patrick Laney.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then, last year, Blake Wheeler.
Blake doesn't score that much either, does he? That's crazy.
4 goal last year, remember?
I think, though, but that's a mix there of who's on Winnipeg. But you would think that Dale Hawerchuk would get, or Teemu Selanne, or Tkachuk, for that matter, right? Like Keith Tkachuk.
I just want to mention to you, Crosby last night, it was his 387 multi-game
Multi-game
points.
That's
and
awesome.
the only other players is 391 is Joe Thornton.
Wow. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Even Gretzky?
Well, no active players.
Oh, active. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, there's guys like Yager and Gretzky. They got to be above that.
Yep.
What's interesting to me is Andrew, like that Winnipeg team. We don't get to see them a lot, and that third line we keep talking about. Lowry looked really good last night. You got Kopp, and then you got Appleton. They're as good as any third line in the league, and they're big, and they do nasty stuff, and they can score. So, and it was interesting to hear him talk after the game about the contribution of their defensemen to that offense, because a bunch of those goals came off of point shots, and he called out the great shots of their defensemen, and he specifically named Pionk. So
Now,
really
I'm going to go maybe a big step here. Maybe some people listening here, but I compare him to Ross for the Pittsburgh Penguins at the same age.
Yeah, and Rust is tough to figure out, right? Because you look at him, you don't go, that's a point a game player, but he is. And
But
Rust really came into his own in Pittsburgh because he was playing with good players, and that might
So
be.
he started at the bottom, right? He said he
Right,
started third line, everything like that, and he got coupled in, then he stepped up. I believe Andrew Coop, he could become that kind of player.
Yeah, he might be. I don't watch him enough to know. Does he have and even Rust? Why does Rust get a point a game? I think it's because of who he's getting to play with, and he capitalizes on that. There's a lot of Chris Kunitz in Rust, right? And maybe Kopp is like that, but Kopp's doing it from the third line.
Yeah, he played with Lowry and Appleton Opero. You know what I mean? I with this guy, I was talking back and forth on Twitter. I will mention to him more like Alex
Alex Tuck, yeah. There's
Alex
some similarities there too.
Yeah, it's just a problem. You know what I mean? Like Alex cannot have no chance. Sometimes he go play top six, he get a couple of points there, but he has no chance to play top six like Ross get now. So I don't know what Coop can be there, but they have a strong, maybe I think you said that they are the best third line in NHL, top 5 for sure.
Might be, right? All right, this one I was a little disappointed in.
Yeah, because the Kings. But the flip side, yeah, you have to give credit to Sharks. See, I don't know, you have the standing in front of you, but I think Sharks right now they're 6-3-1, or they are they play well for at least for the last 6 games for sure. I think they are 5-1 or something like that. So I don't know if you have it. They are the bottom there, but no, it's right there. What they are. 6-1. 5-4-1. I lost you. Yeah, no, you mute.
Oh, that's weird. Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why my screen wasn't scrolling. I hit mute. Yeah, so they're 5-4-1. They're still at the bottom, but now they're within 2 points of LA, and they have a game in hand.
Yep.
So those 2 games were very bad for LA. So now we've got a horse race, right? We've got 30 points, 32 and 33, and San Jose has 2 games in hand. If they can get hot, they pull even with Arizona, and they're actually ahead of Arizona. They would be 34 points. So they only need 3 points the next 4 games, and they're right in the mix there. And we know, this could be a race to the end.
I agree with you. Surprised me, but
surprised me because I thought that they just didn't have it. And I mean, listen, they're both against the Kings, and sometimes when you have those back-to-backs, you really get a team's number. So we'll see what happens in their schedule. But they play Arizona next, Pierre, and they have a game in hand on them. They have more than 1 game in hand on them, right?
Look, I predict them in the playoffs. So
yeah, you're hoping, right? So Arizona's played 33 games. They have 2 games in hand on Arizona. So if they can pull this out, they're licking their chops right now. They're looking at this and going, man, we just beat the Kings back-to-back. Let's beat Arizona back-to-back, and then we're ahead of everybody. They'll have 34 points and 2 games in hand on Arizona after that series if they can pull it out. So this is really critical for them. Back-to-back against Arizona. They go up against Minnesota after that, so that'll be a new ball game. But right now, this little stretch could be really good for them.
Yep.
After the 2 games in Minnesota, they go back to Kings.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Exactly. It's funny. I'm reading right now the something on the. They said, "Thanks, Bobby, for teaching us all what it means to be a true Blues."
For Bobby Plager, yeah.
Yep. I will have to go because I have another conference press Zoom right now. But I just want to wish you can finish it if you want to talk about the game.
I'll stay on for a second and just talk about San Jose, and then we'll wrap it up. Thanks, Pierre.
All right, bye.
All right, so you get stuck with me for a little bit. I just wanted to point out a couple of interesting things. So the Sharks have definitely pulled into this race, which is really interesting. They're now really close to the Kings, and they got a game in hand. So if they win that, they'll pull ahead of the Kings. And then if they can beat Arizona twice, they pull ahead of Arizona with 2 games still in hand, because that'll put Arizona at 35 games and San Jose at 32. So they're in this race. And I know Pierre's happy because he predicted they'd be in the playoffs. I'm still not convinced that that's going to happen. But take a look who's leading them in scoring. Evander Kane has, he's scoring at a 40-goal pace right now. If you had a full season, 29 points in 31 games. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. And then you've got Logan Couture leading the way. It's funny. Logan's got 14 goals, but he's 9 assists, which is a little bit strange. So, but they're getting interesting contributions there. I think they can get more from Hertl and they can get more from Timo Meier. So if those 2 guys can get involved, and, they just have to really get better defensive play from Vlasic. He's not the guy that he used to be, and in net, they need to keep shutting the door the way they did. Like they've got to get to being a team that's 2 goals against a game, not 3 and 4, because that won't let them get in. But they got a chance now. All right, so we talked about all the scores. Let's take a look at the games coming up tonight. Oops, we're Thursday. So tonight, Islanders and Bruins. The Bruins back on the ice. Pierre was talking about that Rask was most likely to start that game. Rangers, Flyers. Flyers have been kind of struggling up and down. There's still 3 games above 500, but we have not seen the best from their goalies yet. Carter Hart and Brian Elliott really need to get on track if they're going to stay in the race to be in the playoffs. Rangers have been playing very well, though, since Panarin came back, so that's not going to be a guarantee. Chris Kreider, Buchnevich, all playing great. They're doing it, and they got their goalie Shesterkin is probably going to start back tonight. So that'll be a boost for the Rangers. They need to start. They might make a move here. Devils and Capitals. Pavel Zacha still leads the team in scoring, which is crazy because he has not scored in the last 5 games, I think. I think he might have a goal in the last 5 games. Let's look. No goals in the last 5 games, 1 point, and yet he's their leading scorer. So that kind of tells you all you need to know about the Devils. They're not getting a lot of consistent offensive opportunity or contribution from players deep in the lineup. I got to give that one to the Capitals, who've looked really dominant lately, looking really good over there. I love Nick Backstrom, totally underrated. This guy needs to be considered for MVP this year. Carolina Hurricanes versus the Blue Jackets. There's no guarantees here. Carolina's a tough team. Even though they're 13-7, you can't automatically give it to Hurricanes, although the Hurricanes won the last game 3-0. I'll give them a little bit of the edge. The biggest offensive contribution right now coming from Oliver Bjorkstrand in Columbus. They need to see some more from Patrick Laine, though. Roslovic's been pretty good. They're getting good goaltending. If Seth Jones can keep playing the way he did in the last series, then that'll be really key for the Blue Jackets. Maple Leafs versus Senators. The Senators, I was saying this before, if you take out the first 8 games of the year, is this team 500? I think they might be. So they're knocking off top teams. They just knocked off back-to-backs against Calgary, and they've beaten the Leafs before. So this will be a fun game. Senators are coming along slowly. That young talent is looking really good over there. Sabres and Penguins, just someone have some mercy and get the Sabres off this losing streak. I don't see it happening. They don't look confident. They're missing Jack Eichel. So it could be another rough game. They lost 5-2 last game. I don't know where they're going to get goaltending from that's going to be good enough to beat the Penguins, unless they just decide to take the night off, which I highly doubt. The Blues against the Wild. This will be interesting. The Blues are 16-11-5. The Wild continue to impress. 20-10-1. I'm not sure who the goalie is tonight for the Wild, but both goalies in Minnesota have been playing awesome all year. We love watching Kaprizov. We love seeing him with Zuccarello. And Eriksson Ek has had a great year with 11 goals. So they're an interesting team. What can you say about David Perron? This guy continues. He's not a young guy, but he continues to play he's just such a good player. Like, who would have ever said David Perron's your leading scorer? Snook, Ryan O'Reilly is also having a great season. I think he crossed 31 points. So you're getting offensive contribution from the veterans, which is what you love. And Tarasenko's in the lineup. I don't think they found their groove yet since Tarasenko's back. So look out. Once he gets going and they get used to having him back in the lineup, they could be very dangerous. Wow, lots of games tonight. Panthers and Blackhawks. Blackhawks have been kind of struggling, but they got an amazing effort from their goalie Lankinen last game. Panthers, though, are very, very difficult to beat. I don't think they have Barkov tonight. I think he's still out with an injury. Red Wings and Predators didn't go so well for the Red Wings last time, but they've been playing better. Again, they need more offensive production. I would love to see Philip Zadina get on the board. Let's get some goals from Philip Zadina. Predators have been playing really well, though. They're slowly trying to claw their way back into contention to be in the playoffs, so it's going to be interesting. They're going to really want to win this game. Lightning versus Stars. The Lightning continue to have the Stars number. Stars cannot get above that 500 mark. I don't have a lot of hope that they're going to do it tonight, but they are capable of beating the Lightning, but I just don't see it right now. Golden Knights and Avalanche. This will be a big game to watch. To me, this is Clash of the Titans. The Knights and the Avalanche, you got to consider both these guys being favorites for the Stanley Cup. And Golden Knights still do not have Alex Pietrangelo back, but they still have so much depth, and they're such an excellent group, and they play really well together, and they get contribution throughout the lineup. The Avs have been on fire. They have outscored their opponents 30-6 in the last, I think, 5 games. So look for the Avs to continue to try and roll and send a message that they're in it to win it. And I think that both these teams are going to be on. We've been seeing a great performance from Nathan McKinnon. Cal Makar is back in, and the goaltending in Colorado has been fantastic all year. All right, so that's a wrap of what we got on the schedule tonight. Look for Coach Frenchie to go live tonight for some of the games and comment. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels or like our Facebook page and get updates. There's updates throughout the day from Coach Frenchie on scores and transactions in the NHL. And we look forward to seeing you, Hockey Nation, on a future broadcast, probably tomorrow.
Investors, people